Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Good morning, everybody. Wanted to welcome you to our webinar this morning on creating flyers and brochures here with TheAnalyst PRO. My name is Rhena Hawkins. I am the customer care manager for TheAnalyst PRO. And so I just want to tell you a little bit about myself briefly. I have been in the commercial real estate tech side of the world for about 11 years now. I started off with Xceligent back in 2008 on their customer care floor. And then after about 5 years, I did take that team over and for their customer support, and then moved shortly after that to the product development side, where I was a business analyst working with the development team and our clients to build products. So after Xceligent closed, I then joined up with Todd not too shortly after that, and I am now helping him with his customer service department, doing demos and one-on-one trainings and things of that nature. So you'll see a lot of me as you get into the system, learn a little about the system. If you have phone messages or questions or anything like that, you can contact me and I will be able to help you. So let's get started. So we're talking about flyers and brochures today. I am going to show you how to create a flyer and a brochure, but I want to talk a little bit about some of the options to the flyers and the brochures. We have 7 different flyer templates, and we have 2 different brochure templates. We have various different setups, so you can add infographics, you can add maps. We also have flyers and brochures that you can add photos to. They are not limited to for sale properties. You can do these for sale and for lease, and you can also add your logo and some customized branding. So just to take a quick look at some samples here, this is our flyer. In the top left-hand corner, you do have your logo, and then you can see here we have some accent colors that are in red. In addition to the information, your building information, your contact information, and then of course the property address. So as we switch over to a different view, this flyer here is a little bit more detailed, still contains your logo, and you can see here that we've changed the accent color to a blue. And I'll show you how to change that when we get to the building part of the flyer. In this particular flyer, you do have your photos in this top right-hand corner, and then we have added an infographic as well as some map features down here to the right side. Taking a look at our trifold brochures, you'll have some space to enter your property information as well as your contact information, and then of course your branding and your customized accent colors. So let's jump out of here and we are going to head over to TheAnalyst PRO. And the first thing that I want to show you to do here in TheAnalyst PRO, once you get logged in, we'll always have our product tiles at the top so that you can navigate through our system. But before we get started on how to build those, I want to make sure that you know how to load your logo. So in this top right-hand corner, you'll have your name. And then there's a little drop down arrow. If you click that, it'll open up a menu for you. We're going to click on the Edit Profile section of this menu. And what that's going to do is take us to a page that allows us to choose the company logo file and then load the logo. And if you see over here to the right, sometimes I get questions about how big should it be, what type of file should it be, things like that. We do give you the recommended picture resolution, picture types, and then the maximum picture size. So we'll want to make sure that all of our logos meet these specs so that you can get it loaded in and that it is as clear and crisp as possible for your reports. All right, so let's head over to the Package Pro section. And so this is kind of our marketing section. So if you click on Package Pro, it's going to take you over to the new Commercial Pro package. And some of you might be familiar with this section because it is where we also create our offering memorandums. So now we've added some options, which is our flyers and our brochures. So what we'll do first is we'll name the package. And in this case, we're going to work with Williams Crossing Retail Center. So let me grab that information for you. We're going to set it in here. And then in this case, just for my own saving purposes, I'm going to name it flyer. And then you're going to choose a folder to save it to. So in this case, I have support packages, but in the event that I wanted to create a new folder for my flyers, let's say, I can go in there, name it flyer, and then click save, and it will then save a new folder where it says support packages here. It'll say flyer, and then you'll be able to save your flyers to that package. But I'm going to put it in my support packages today, so I'm going to show you where I can just select that. It's going to put it into that field, and then we're going to click on create new commercial pro package. So the first thing it's going to ask you is your transaction type. Is this property for sale or is it for lease? So today we're going to choose for sale. Okay. Click that, and then it's going to take me over to where I'm going to fill out all of my information for my flyer. So right now, we're looking at creating a flyer. We're going to create a simple one first, and we're going to see how quick and easy it is. So it's 6 after, so let's see just how long it might take us to create this particular quick flyer. So again, looks a little familiar. You have your report templates for your offering memorandums, but what we're going to do in this case is we're going to scroll past it. We have a section for flyers and a section for brochures. You're going to click on that flyer section. Now that's going to collapse everything you don't want to see, and it's going to focus in on our flyer options here. And we have seven different flyer options, okay? And so what you'll want to do is pay attention to the options that are available. For example, on flyer 3, which is the one we're going to do first, you have 5 photos and a location map, okay? But if you look below that, you have 5 photos, location map, you can add an annotated aerial, and then you can also add an infographic. So you kind of want to decide what information you want to put into your flyer, and then choose accordingly in the templates that we have. Okay. And then down below, you have some other options. So let's go up here. Let's go ahead and select 3, flyer 3. We're going to do a quick and simple one, 5 photos and a location map. Okay. You'll click on it, and you'll see that it'll become highlighted here in red. If you click on the click to view sample, what's going to happen, it's going to open up a sample so that you can kind of take a look at the setup of the page. Okay. Just click OK out of there. So we selected it in red, and then we're going to scroll down to the bottom here, and then it comes to accent color. So previously in our samples, we talked about the red versus the blue. In our case, our logo is red, white, and blue. So if you know the number color, by all means, put that in there. Just type it right in that space. But if you don't, and you kind of want to match it up, you have some options here. You have a basic color option. You also have your advanced hues and your saturations if you would like to utilize that option. But I always suggest we do the choose custom option. And that's simply because it pulls up your logo, and then you're able to choose the color just by clicking on it, and then it'll match up perfectly. And so then you don't have to worry about not having a number or anything like that. It's a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. So once you've chosen the color from your logo, then you'll click continue, and then it's going to ask you for your flyer information. Okay, so again, we have our property name here. It's going to ask for suite. Let's do year built. So let me just fill this out. Anything with a red asterisk is going to be a required field, so we will need you to complete that information so that we can create the best flyer for you. The city, let me just, I'm copying and pasting here, so give me just a second. Get this information in, and then we will move on to some customizations as far as photos. All right. So a little bit about these options for the options for land size and property size. You do have size options. You can do square feet, square meters, acres, or hectares, or over in the property side, you can also choose units, square feet, or square meters. So we're going to make sure that this is on acres, and then we're going to make sure our property size says square feet, and then we're going to click apply. Then below that, you'll see the map pop up, and then you'll see the red pin right in the center here of my property. So that's great. We're not going to move that. We're going to click continue, and then we're going to head over and add our photos. And so in this case, I'll just go over to the drag and drop photos. You can drag them here, or you can upload, but I'm going to load 5 photos right now at one time. So I'm going to go ahead and click upload photos, and then it's going to open up my folder, and then I'm going to select them. So I'm going to select all 5 and show you how easy this is, and then click open. and then it's going to drop them for me. It's going to ask me if I need to make any type of cropping, editing. You'll just click next if everything looks great. So we'll get those in there, taking a look, make sure it's not cutting anything we need off there. So then it's going to add them, and in a minute it's going to scroll up and we'll be able to move them around if we'd like to so that they're in a certain order here. So here, if we wanted to drag and drop these, we can just by moving them over. Then we'll scroll down. You have your property description or notes. So let me get some property description for our property here. And we'll put that in there. So we'll make sure that that's all good and that it looks great. And then we'll click continue. So now we're going to the reports that we want to include. This should default. It'll give you the selections that are available to you so you can continue through that. Because there's going to come a point where we can make some choices. We have our annotated image. We'll click continue because it's going to automatically add the maps that you need here. So we'll continue again. And then we get to our report layout. So again, we have our photos. If we needed to, for some reason, we decided we don't want the back of that building, we can unselect that if we would like to. As we scroll down, we'll click continue there. And now we are to the running report section. Okay, so what we'll do here is we'll generate the report. Oh, let me put that back in there. And it'll pop the PDF up for us, and then we can take a look at what that's going to look like. Now, it does take a few seconds, and then of course the more detailed the flyer. So once we start adding the infographics and maybe an annotated map, it may take it a few more minutes, but it should pop up fairly quickly for you, and then you'll be able to see your flyer. So over here, if we'll scroll through, you have your logo, and then of course blue I chose as our accent color, and then your photos. Okay, let me pause for just a second here. I think I see a question. Looks like I have a couple of people frozen.
Still looking good to me, Rhena.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I addressed it in case I was moving faster than my graphics. All
It's
right.
working on my end just fine. It looked like it took you from 6 after to about 12 after.
Great, so 6 minutes, and I was explaining a little bit as we went through there, so that really does show you how quickly we can put together a really great flyer for your property with some great photos. So we're gonna go back now and kind of show you one with a little bit more detail, and we'll see how long that one takes us to. So I'm just gonna close this here. And then we are right back where we were inside TheAnalyst PRO, our generate report section. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna reset just a little bit here because I want to go back and show you two things. And so when I go into the package pro, and since we're working with the same property, I also want to show you how easy it is to edit existing projects. So for example, we'll go to support packages. We have our flyer here. And then what I want to do is now add to a flyer that I've already created. So I've gone in, I've added the information, the address and all of that. So now I don't want to do a simple one. I want to do a little bit more detail. So we're going to choose flyer 4. So basically we've already chosen 3. We're going to go in, select 4. Okay. And this is going to give us that annotated aerial plus the infographic and my photos. We're going to go down, and I'll even change the accent color here for you so we can see the difference there. And we'll just click on that red, click continue, and then it'll let you go through your information and make changes. So let's say if the year built was actually 2008 and I needed to change that, I can edit that. You have all of your price information, all of that there, so you can double check. You can see that our point has not changed even though we've gone into an existing project and made some changes. You'll click continue. You'll have your photos available to you. You can edit these by clicking the X and removing them if you need to. You can add more photos. You have your property description. Click continue again. I mean, and look how quickly we've already got the information in, and we literally just changed the template, and it has just taken us no time at all to get our marketing done. Demographic and aerial, so we have the infographic we're going to choose later, plus the location map that we've already and annotated map we've already seen. Click continue. Okay, so now that we've added the infographic, it's going to ask us a few more questions. So we have your rings, your drive times, or your polygon. I like rings, so I'm going to do the 1, 3, and 5 mile options, okay, and on the ring option. And click continue. It'll show you your property with your rings around it. So you'll confirm that, and then you'll click continue. It's going to default selections for you, and then give you the choices on the next menu. Okay, so now we have our annotated image here. So let's annotate this image. So you'll click on the button, and then it's going to give you options. You can add text, you can add shapes, you can add images, and you can draw. So I'm going to highlight for you today our property. Okay, we're going to change the picture of the highlight. I like the yellow, and then we're going to click start. So when you do that, you'll just start at your point by left clicking and then dragging it, and then left clicking and then dragging it. And then when you get to your final point, if you just double click, it will throw the box up for you to let you know that you have set your highlight, and then you'll click save at the bottom, and then it will add this annotation for you. Then you'll click continue. Again, it has the defaulted maps for you. And then we're going to head over to the report layout. So our photos, again, I chose one with 5 photos, so I'm keeping all my photos here, but if you needed to remove one, you could. Then it takes me to my infographics. Which infographic would you like to add? In this case, I'm going to add the community profile, and I'm going to do a study area of 5 miles. And so you can select one of these if you like. You can move it over if you like, but I'm going to select 5 mile. Click continue. And then we're going to get to your generate report. So we're going to click generate report. And then let's see. So again, before when we were creating that other flyer with just the photos and the location map, I told you that it may take a few more minutes as we add pieces to it. So here we are, it's building the report. We've added the infographic in a 5 mile radius. We have the annotated map as well as the location map, and then the 5 photos. And so that will take just a few seconds to create. And while I'm doing that, let me take a look and make sure I haven't seen anybody else with any issues. And I see there are a few questions, and I will get to those here in a little bit. I don't want you to think that I've not seen you, but I have. So we'll take just a few seconds to get that over, and it'll show you as it's moving through. Location map. Okay. I saw the question about creating the annotated maps. I hope that I answered that question there for you, Richard. If you have any other questions about that, just let me know. Okay, so this is our flyer number 2. Okay, so we have our logo. You see I've changed the accent color from blue to red. Okay, then our information, our description here, purchase price, our photos, and then here are our added pieces, our community profile here, our annotated map over to the right on top of our location map. And so we've added those pieces as information and a different format, so it looks really great. And so that one was about 8 minutes, and of course I was going through and adding some descriptions as we were adding stuff. So super quick, super easy, great looking marketing flyers for you guys to have. Okay. All right. So I will close out of there. We are going to go back here. We're going to reset and we're going to look at a trifold brochure. Okay. So let's go back to Package Pro and then scroll down, and we will show you again how to change our template. Okay, so we've done 2 different flyers here. All right, and now we want to go down and we want to choose brochure. So up above we have one selected, but that's okay because when we come down here, we're going to select a new one. And then we will we'll leave our accent color red and then click continue. Okay, adding in your information works the same for the brochures as I did for the flyers. Okay, again, we're editing at this point, so you can make changes if you need changes to be made. You'll click continue. You'll have your photos that are available to you, your property description, and then click continue. You'll also have your options again defaulted for you. In this case, it's the area and location map here, so you'll see that. Then it has your annotated image, but if it's depending on the selections that you made on your template, it will allow you to make those annotations, but you'll click continue through that, and it will apply the correct map for your selection. And then we're going to generate our report. And so then again, we have our photos that are available to us, and then you'll click continue. And then like I said before, the map that you selected will be automatically added. And then we're going to generate this report. So that was pretty quick. And so we did, in this case, edit, so it was a little bit quicker, but I didn't want to make you go through the adding of the information again, so you're able to do that. But your report should pop up fairly quickly here. Again, our accent colors we've changed to red, and our logo is still on the front of the flyer, and then you'll have the inside and the outside of the trifold brochure. Okay. All right. So that is how to create your brochures and your flyers. We started creating them from the very beginning on adding the information in that we need, your location information, your photos, choosing the options that are available to you in your selected template, whether it be in a map or it be infographics, and then getting the report that we need. So before we end, I'm going to look through some of the questions that we have over here to the right, and I will get some of them answered. And if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the question box as I'm looking through them. And then I'll pop some more information up for contact information and training information. Just give me just a second here. I'll pop all that up for you to view. So our customer care line, we have a dedicated email line, support at TheAnalyst PRO, and then we also have a phone line, and it's 877-855-2246. I do have direct contact information, which I will share later on in a follow-up so that you guys have that information as well. But if you do have any questions or anything, please feel free to reach out to us. We are happy to help you, and we can also set up one-on-one demos with you where we can spend some time helping you build your own flyers and brochures. While I'm looking through these questions, Todd, did you have anything you wanted to add before we end our webinar today?
No, this was great, Rhena. Thank you so much for putting this on.
Thank you. Thank you. So I'm looking through. It looks like most of them were about the freezing section. So I don't see any other new questions in here for me.
I think the only thing I would add, Rhena, is the fact that after somebody does want to make a flyer or a brochure, they can move right into making an offering memorandum as well, or vice versa. If you make an offering memorandum, you can make a flyer with the same information. So that's that's kind of how we built that.
Yes, and I didn't show, and I probably should have, and I apologize to skip that, but I didn't show really how you could, when creating the offering memorandum or the brochures and flyers, how that kind of leads into each other. So that's a great point, Todd. All of that information that's saved, and I kind of showed you how to edit, but I didn't really show how that information is saved there for you to create things like the offering memorandum, which is a bigger package for you to add things like the investment analysis, the financial reports, the demographics and infographics, which are some really great support pieces for our properties and our listings out there. So that is a great point. Thank you very much for pointing that out.
And the only other thing I'd say, Rhena, is that we have another webinar next Thursday, same time, same place. We'll send out a notification to everybody, especially everybody that was on this one. But we're releasing a new feature in the Analyst Pro, and I'm going to go through that in detail. It's a new investment analysis infographic style report. So we'll be reviewing that in detail 1 week from today.
Great. I look forward to that as well. Well, if we don't have any other questions, I will go ahead and let everybody get back to their day. I thank you for your time today. And if you do have any questions or need any help with anything else, even if it's not flyers and brochures, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you. You all have a wonderful morning.